Good morning, afternoon, evening, or night, ladies and gentlemen, depending where you are in the globe right now. I am HarlequinCoHO, and I have another Newbie Tuesday game for you. And in case you are new to these, the Newbie Tuesday name is just an homage to the Day 9 Daily, one of my favorite StarCraft commentators who has his own Newbie Tuesday. And I like to borrow that idea and bring it into my show so that we can just kind of look at average games and just kind of look at what they do right and what they do wrong and just kind of have some fun with it. So it's also important to note, by the way, that I'd let people self-select for newbie games. I don't go out there and find games and say, yes, this is a newbie game. So people just send me replays and they put Newbie Tuesday in the title, and I think, okay, so I'll check it out. But oftentimes, like today, the games are just kind of normal ladder games, and they're good, solid games. So we're going to go ahead and get this replay started. Boop, boop, boop. There we go. And this map is Langre, I think is the pronunciation. I always screw that up. And in the southern side of the map, we have HellasShadow here, who is going to be an infantry commander. You can see he's got rifles, minesweeper detection radius, 20% capture rate, and moderate health regeneration. He's got forward barracks, heroic charge, camouflage, ranger reinforcements, and artillery strike. And note, by the way, that none of these engineers are building anything. These guys are just running away from the base. We'll see if these guys build anything. No, it looks like they're going over here to cap this munitions point. So double munitions point grab right off the bat, and no buildings. We will get back to that in a moment. But first up, to the north side of the map, we have TerrFernando, who is going to be our terror commander, as is indicated by the terror at the beginning of his name. And you can see that he went ahead and just started off building a Wehrmacht quarters, just like you normally would, and went ahead and sent these field pioneers off onto the right-hand side. Field pioneers can lay crippling traps, is their most notable feature, but they have a bunch of other little things that are better about them. So looks like he's getting some grenadiers, perhaps Katzenmeyer's Volksgrenadiers. And let's take a look. I'm just curious here. Oh, by the way, TerrFernando has got propaganda, inspired zeal, and blackout. Ooh, blackout. I almost never see blackout used in games, or at least used in replays that I watch. And quite honestly, I'm not even sure I could tell if they use it other than seeing this ability blink on their command bar there. So we'll have to look into that a little bit later here, but just kind of looking around. But I'm going to go ahead and jump to HellasShadow because I'm curious what the heck he is up to. So he has no buildings in his base, nothing but 4 engineers. This is clearly the 4ES strategy. You can see he's building an observation post on his munitions. 4ES strategy stands for 4 Engineer Sniper. If you are not aware of what that means, you can probably see it on forums and things like that. 4ES has been popular since Vanilla Company of Heroes, but I'm not a super duper educated Vanilla Company of Heroes historian or anything like that, but I am well aware that it is a strategy from back then, and I would say it's probably the closest thing to a pile spam from an American point of view. Not quite, because the strength in pile spamming comes from the fact that the Germans can vet up their troops and Americans cannot, but that's kind of the gist here, is it's kind of a lot of early little guys, but I really like the way he plays this game, actually. So what we see here is a nice little barricading of this central area. I like that. I think this is a clever way to just kind of restrict travel, make your opponent have to go the long way around if he wants to cap this point. And unfortunately, I think he's being a little bit too overconfident with these engineers, kind of really risking everything to get one set of mines down, takes 2 casualties, has to retreat, and these 2 guys just are way in too deep here. I guess he targeted that motorcycle, but in so doing ran right across Katzenmeyer's Volksgrenadiers. Katzenmeyer's Volksgrenadiers, if you're not used to them, they have a bunch of other, all heroic units in this game get something new about them for each level. These guys are level 5, indicated by the 5 little dots above their little tag there. But most notably, they have hand grenades, or rather, stick bombs. But most Volksgrenadiers do not have stick bombs. So that is their ability. Otherwise, they are a lot like regular Volksgrenadiers, but a little bit better. So here we have the engineers trying to fire away at these pioneers. The pioneers tend to do really well against engineers. I've never really looked up the statistics, but as you can see, just standing there one-on-one, it looked like the pioneers got it. And unfortunately, TerrFernando went ahead and retreated right after it looked like HellasShadow retreated. So I think he could have stood his ground there. This could have been a nice opportunity to try and pick off this last engineer here. As you can see, the Katzenmeyer's Volksgrenadiers are on the scene. But it looks like he's just shooting at this observation post for the time being. I think his time would be better spent capping this point, trying to cap the middle, capping this point, instead of shooting at that, because it'll take him forever, and by then there will probably be some sort of response. Once again, HellasShadow is trying to lay some landmines, but he's just caught. It is important to note, by the way, that most units, almost all units, by the way, take extra damage while they're building or repairing or doing something other than just standing there and fighting. And laying mines is no exception. So you can see that they took a ton of damage. So let's take a look at HellasShadow's base, and you can see that he did get a triage center first, and then went into a weapon support center. And honestly, I think this is kind of slow. If you're going for a sniper, getting all this stuff first seems a little excessive. I know he wants the extra munitions because he wants like tons of flamethrowers and snipers, and because he was maybe a little sloppy with his early engineers, he needed the triage center to kind of heal them all up. So he's a little bit behind in terms of getting a sniper out there, but now we can see a little bit of sneakiness going on. So this double squad here is moving up on the right hand side, probably getting some backcapping. But here we have the infamous cloaked flamethrower engineers laying mines while cloaked. That is pretty tough stuff to deal with. They can pretty much mine up all around you, and you can see surprise attack. Gonna get some flame on there. It looks like he doesn't have his cloak leveled up all the way. Usually when you pop out of cloak, you get like an attack speed bonus and a few other things like that. And oh no, once again, risking everything to try and get a single mine down. You can see that TerrFernando, and I'm gonna go ahead and just pause this for a second. A lot of stuff going on, but I think TerrFernando did make a good call here, which is that if you go, like, we're already 5 minutes in this game. If you go like 3 or 4 minutes into the game and you don't see a single rifleman out there, and you've kind of got an idea about your opponent's army items by seeing some of this stuff on the loading screen, start thinking either weapon support center or this dreaded 4ES sniper opening. So I think he's making some of the right moves here. He does have his own motorcycle, which he got at the beginning of the game anyways, which is just, you know, that's just one play style out there. A lot of people like to have early machine gun, early motorcycle, and pair them up, or pair the motorcycle with troops. But getting his own sniper, that's a great idea. Snipers are always really good against engineers, and backing them up with their own HMG team, that's cool too. But let's get back into the action here. So it looks like Fernando overextended a little bit and got caught by this HMG team and had to retreat. Sorry, the heavy machine gun emplacement. This motorcycle is kind of doing nothing right now, and that was kind of cool. When you're retreating, you do have much higher armor and harder to hit than normal, and you can see he retreated right across one of those landmines, blew it up, didn't take any casualties. That's kind of the best way to detonate landmines if you can. So let me sneak around here. We see the little bit of capping going on there. We do have a single sniper here for TerrFernando. And honestly, TerrFernando had a sniper out before HellasShadow did. So that's not too bad here. The engineers are sneaking along. And the motorcycle is just chilling there. I really think this motorcycle needs to be patrolling around. If you get an early motorcycle, pretty much the thing it's best at is harassing stuff like this. It's really good at just kind of harassing, backcapping engineers and whatnot. And so just kind of standing around is a bad move. I do like this, though. Without even hesitating, TerrFernando has upgraded to minesweepers. As soon as you start bumping into lots of random minesweepers and you know that your opponent is doing things like capping high munitions points and stuff, yeah, definitely go for minesweepers. There's going to be mines everywhere, and as you can see, there are mines everywhere. So once again, this motorcycle could use to be microed a little bit better. It's just kind of standing there. Frankly, it's not doing too bad, but it is taking a little bit of damage. Ooh, chase this guy down, motorcycle. Go for it, go for it. Just go for it. Don't let it go. Yes, I want to see him chase it down. So always important to note, like, this is a high priority target here. It is a engineer that already has a flamethrower upgrade, and it's at a sliver of health. Unfortunately, he's just a little slow reacting to that, and gonna have to let that one go for now. But this is perfect use of a motorcycle here, just kind of harassing away at the early engineers. But now, ooh, look at that. We do have a special operations sniper out there for HellasShadow. Special operations sniper can do all sorts of cool stuff. But really brutal opening here is with these engineers. Now, I think both players are being a little bit sloppy here, which is definitely why this was probably submitted to me as a Newbie Tuesday game. But they are using some interesting high-level strategies here, or at least clever, weird strategies. So we can see that he is now finally, TerrFernando is finally recapping the center here, but look at this combination here. Ouch! This special operations sniper is just railing into this heavy machine gun team. You can see TerrFernando is possibly even baiting him along, trying to get the counter snipe. And will he get the counter snipe? He's there. He's there. Oh, and he just misses it. Make sure, by the way, if you are trying to get the counter snipe, that you know the hotkeys, that you check out the hotkeys for hold fire and for like stop. For instance, you saw he was moving moving around like that. A lot of times it's easier just to force him to keep moving so he doesn't fire. And then as soon as you see that sniper reveal, hit the S key and stop and just let him take the shot. But unfortunately, if you try and actually click on the other sniper, you might be a little slow and he might get away. So looks like this motorcycle is trying to make a glorious exit. And no, it hits one of the many, many landmines in the front of HellasShadow's base. And now here we have, in all of its glory, you've got the pile of engineers with flamethrowers coming out here. I do like the use of propaganda. That is certainly helping, but oh boy, these guys are really, really in for it right now. So Katzenmeyer's Volksgrenadier is going to have to get out of there. It looked like he activated Inspired Zeal and propaganda right there. I'm going to go ahead and keep this on HellasShadow for now, since he seems to be the focus of my attention anyway. So we've got double flamethrowers out right now. Let's see this 2 snipers, and we got the 4 engineers out there. So this is totally a 4ES opening now. Unfortunately, he's doing the capping with his sniper, but check it out. He does have the 100% capture rate and the 50% camouflage detection. So these snipers are designed to be out there doing stuff, including capping and looking for other snipers. So his army items are at least very much in pair with the rest of his strategy. I don't know what his other 2 army items are, but we've seen 6 of them so far. So we do have a Krieg barracks now up for TerrFernando, and for the most part, he's just kind of scattered around here. We do have this heavy machine gun team. These 2 guys need to retreat. Whenever you pick up a heavy machine gun team and you leave yourself with 1 or 2 dudes, just instantly retreat them and resupply them. He's going to forget about them, and they're going to get picked off by a sniper if he leaves them out there for too long. Katzenmeyer is moving along. Heavy machine gun moving along.